In this video, we're going to learn how this device can make you a full-time living. What's up everybody, it's Adrian Brambila here, and you're watching one video in a series of 30 on how to make money online for a beginner. In case you've skipped the other videos, make sure you go to adrianbrambila.com/30 days to start in the right order. So I got a Kindle this year, and I actually was always against Kindles or reading via a device because I loved the feel of books. I loved highlighting and writing in them, but the Kindle changed everything. I got the Kindle, I started reading more. There's a little highlight feature you can do on here. It's not the same, but I was reading more. It was easy to read. It was so fast to get books, and my mind was blown. And then, of course, because I always have my marketing lenses on, my business brain, I'm like, how do I get in this book? I spent hours researching this, and this is the only side hustle that I'm teaching in this course, which I have not personally done yet, but I'm so excited about. It is one of my 2021 goals, is to make not just one, but at least a dozen, one every single month, print on demand books and ebooks on Amazon. Yes, there's such a thing. Let me just spit this out in a way that is non-nerdy, and I'll try to do this. I'm a nerd, so sometimes it's hard. You can actually make books, not like crazy books, not Harry Potter books. Like, you can make a niche book about a subject. You can put in the time to create it, get it proofread, of course, and then you can actually upload this book onto Amazon, which has a print-on-demand book system, which then becomes a Kindle version, and then people can actually purchase the physical version. So right away you should think, no cost to you, zero cost. You have to put in the work. You got to create a book, right? You got to research. Maybe you're knowledgeable at something and you can just talk off the cuff and have so much knowledge about a particular area or experience or drama in your life and put it in a book and then upload it. But maybe maybe you're young, maybe you're in high school, and maybe you don't have a lot of experience and you want to basically research a topic. You can be a researcher of a topic. You can interview people, create content, and put it into a book. Once you've done that, you literally upload it, and that's it. I mean, you would want to market it and stuff, but the work of creating the book is done, and then Amazon is going to take a pretty mob-like commission or profit from you, but then again, you don't have to buy 1,000 books of your own book and then sell it. It's on Amazon's search engine. It's on Amazon's Kindle search engine, and it's there for the internet for people who want to buy. Seriously, I'm so freaking excited about the fact about doing this side hustle, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I once heard a podcast on James Altucher podcast of this dude who was making 5 figures a month making ebooks. And I thought, wow, this has to be a super famous author like Tim Ferriss that he interviewed, or Seth Godin, and that's why he's making all this money. Turns out, this dude is like an average Joe. No offense if you actually watch this. I'm trying to make an example out of him, saying that anyone could do what he is doing. He's basically researching niche topics and then creating the ebook or the print-on-demand book and then publishing it. And I think his 5-figure per month income, if I remember correctly, came from like 30 different books. And if you imagine like 30 books, that's like a lifetime's work. No, he's literally cracking these out because they're not like super in-depth novels. He's taking a very specific search, like how to have the best Airbnb listing, how to rank good on an Airbnb. That's really niche. And so you type, someone who is searching for that is clearly, a lot about their persona. They have an Airbnb, they're trying to get more people there, and they want to get better at it. So he creates this niche book, this guide, and then it's a super niche book. It's never going to be a New York Times bestseller. It does not matter. He's just trying to create that, and that one little digital product that he creates will produce hopefully $300 to $500 a month. And so all he's done is he's planted multiple seeds everywhere of these mini books, and he keeps on producing them. Eventually, can you imagine if you had 100 different niche books online, even if each one paid $100 a month? That would be amazing. That would be a full-time income. There's your 10K per month. Now, 100 bucks, that does sound like a lot, but what I'm just saying is that how amazing this opportunity is for anyone out here who's watching these side hustles and maybe being on camera, doing the influencer thing is like, I can't do that. But writing is something you could do. You're good at writing. You're good at researching, and you're good at telling stories. And if you're not, that's okay. Maybe this is a side hustle that's piqued your interest and those are things you want to get better at. The key to having a 5-figure business is mastering this. So let's go into Amazon so I can give you a couple examples. What are these niche books? What are these people doing? And how is it possible to make that much money from creating ebooks? So what makes a niche book? Well, let's just start with kind of categories and kind of cipher down. So if I type in marketing book, that would be like a pretty broad category. And you'll get all different types of books, and the authors typically on this page are going to be the heavy dogs, like Seth Godin. I don't expect ever, maybe one day, to create a book that is as popular as Seth Godin. Who knows? But this is too broad. You want to go a little specific. So marketing has different facets. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just put YouTube SEO. Now that is definitely a more niche book. And let's see here, YouTube SEO. Now, these are, I feel like this is not as niche as you could be, but this is already brings out a layer, and Seth Godin's not going to create a book based on a YouTube SEO book. But I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to go how to do YouTube for musicians. See if anything pops up. Maybe not. Let's see. A content creator. That's kind of one that I see. 25 notes. So I actually don't see one here, which could be a good thing. So this would be, for example, if musicians are trying to get on YouTube and they want to get more people to their YouTube channel, they potentially would go on to Amazon and search for a how-to. And right now, this is actually a niche. I'm doing this on the fly, so I did not expect this, but this is kind of one of the things you look for. If you can prove that there's data behind here, enough data, then you should create this book. If you're a musician, you should learn about marketing and create this book because it could help a lot of people. So let me try to do and step back a little bit, and I'll say YouTube SEO, YouTube marketing tips. So I'll go back to that more broader category. So here's a good one. This is $0 a day. I want to look for ones that charge. And by the way, if you're wondering how could they make money off zero? Well, they still get paid based on kind of like a royalty format, or this book could potentially just be a giant pitch. So you read this book, you think you're getting value, and then really the book is like, but you should buy my course. I kind of hate it. I hate anything where they kind of clickbait you into thinking you're going to get value and they just trick you. You should always give value. Anyways, so here's a good one. YouTube marketing, the ultimate beginner's guide to learn YouTube marketing tips and secrets. This is perfect. This is exactly what I mean by a niche book. Now, I've never heard of David James Miles, but maybe you have. But to me, he's not a big time author. This is like definitely something that I would qualify as an example as a niche book. Let me hit you with an example that you probably wouldn't expect. I was hanging out at a friend's house the other day, and she just created her first children's book. I thought, wow, that must be crazy. But she told me that it was actually a print on demand, and not that that's a hack that she didn't put in work, but pretty fascinating. Check this out. What if you created a children's book, and I'm just going to put entrepreneur in here, and I've never done this before, so I don't know what's going to pop up. Check this out. Oh, crap. That's by Mark Cuban. No. That's not what I mean. I want a kid's book about entrepreneurship. Like this. Exactly. Young Entrepreneurs Activity Book. Black Millionaires of Tomorrow. Exactly. So they've actually taken three niches. First of all, kids book. Second of all, entrepreneurs. Third, they're tying in the race card here. So that is exactly what I mean by a niche book. Now, this does say Dr. Boyce Watkins. Again, my apologies if that is a well-known author. Here's another one. Kidpreneurs, young entrepreneurs with big ideas. Yay! This is exactly what I'm talking about. A niche book. And you might be wondering,
well, how do I create a children's book? Again, the writing doesn't have to be that intense because it's for kids, maybe parents reading this book to their kids. But you would need to team up with a graphic designer. Do you have a graphic designer friend? Maybe you go 50-50 on the idea. They create the graphics, you create the content, you create the story. Partnering, it's pretty brilliant. Let me go another niche. Since I'm living in a van, I'm going to do van life books. And I've also never done this before. Oh, look at this. Things every van lifer needs to know. This is a niche book. Don't know who this is, but look, and this is a, trending right now, trendy thing. But this is exactly what I mean. She's created a book here that's based on a niche of people who are aspiring to do van life, are doing van life planning. They're probably going to get this book. This book is never going to be a New York Times bestseller, but that's not the point. The point is to create a digital piece of content, rank it, and then when it ranks for that keyword, van life books, it's literally, it's sponsored. So she's even doing some marketing behind it. That's amazing. Look, now there's others. How to live in a van. And this is trendy. I bet 2 years ago, this was definitely not here. Now look at all these van life books. And if you're seeing a niche that you feel like you could conquer and then you search like, oh crap, there's a bunch of books here, that's okay. Because more than likely, someone who's about to do van life, they're probably not just going to read one book. They're going to read all of them or as much as they can until they feel confident about the subject. This is what I'm talking about. How incredible. And the sky is the limit. It's really based on your creativity or what you're good at. But maybe the only thing I would caution you is not to go too specific. Don't go so niche that there's no one searching this. And you've learned about some research methods in earlier videos about Google Trends and keyword planners so you can figure out how many searches something occurs. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. And in 2021, I plan on crushing this by creating my very first ebook to try to conquer the print-on-demand book.
Seriously. Amazing. Insane. The amount of opportunities online that exist on Amazon to create these niche books where people are consuming them like crazy. And all it takes for you now is to get creative, do a little bit of research as you learn, and start with something that you're familiar with. Start with an experience, a drama. Start with a how-to, something you're knowledgeable. And you don't have to be an expert. I think one of the problems that people get when they create content is they get like imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to be creating a course on XYZ? I mean, there's so many better people. Guess what? There's much better people, better looking people, richer people in pretty much like all areas of our life. I remember when I was dancing and I was creating tutorials, I definitely at the beginning had the fear. It's like, who am I to create these dance tutorials when there's like legendary dancers who are much better than me? But you have to get over the fact at the end of the day, the reason you should create content is because of relatability. Your story is gonna relate better to other people than the best person in that industry. And the user would rather listen to you, even though maybe that other person, the top person in that niche might have the best content ever. It doesn't matter because they're gonna actually listen to your words more accurately because they relate to you. And relatability is always gonna trump the actual content of what you create. So for all those reasons, you should definitely look into this side hustle. And I want you to hold me accountable to this new side hustle. First, I'm gonna create my first ebook and print-on-demand book on Amazon in Q1. So if Q1 passes in 2021 and I have no book, like, shame me. I want you to hold me accountable to this new side hustle too. Just because, again, this is a side hustle I've not done. But I'm so excited about, which I wanted to share. I have no idea what it's going to be about yet, but I am going to market it. I'll be transparent. I'm always transparent about my side hustles and how it's doing. I'm going to pick a super niche topic. Again, I have no idea what it's going to be about, but I'm super pumped. What do you think about this print-on-demand book idea? Is this something you're going to try? Comment below and be like, yes, finally, Adrian, this is the side hustle that I think I'm going to try. You'll notice in this course that I've been focusing more on the freemium or free type of side hustles, meaning you don't have to actually spend any money or cost to get this started. That's one of my favorite places that I recommend beginners because it can be scary if you are doing something brand new, you don't know how it all works, but then here you are spending money on an ad or buying something and then you lose it. It's very discouraging. It's happened to me many a time in my earlier days. So I've tried to focus really on these side hustles that you can actually do with some creativity, of course, your time and research, that don't require you to drop a fortune. And this is definitely one of those. If you haven't already, I have free resources and worksheets that go along with this course. To get them, you go to adrianbrambila.com/30days. I want to say thank you for watching this free course. I can just make a psychic prediction. You'll notice that my first videos are probably going to have the highest amount of views, and there's going to be a decline towards the end, because you'll see some people can't even commit to watching these videos. But here you are, and I want to say thank you. So comment again if you think this is a side hustle that you're going to try. Otherwise, I'll catch you in tomorrow's lesson. Just a heads up, the side hustles are going to get a little more complicated and difficult, and will include some side hustles that will use a budget. And we're actually going to cover how to run ads in this free course too. So stay tuned, stay committed, check your email for the resources, and God bless.